Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the second decan of Scorpio, which is 10 to 19.59 degrees. It does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. When I say 0.59 degrees, that's 59 minutes of arc. The next decan, which is a Scorpio third decan, technically that begins at 20 degrees. And you have, with this decan, the ruler is Mars and Pluto, and then you have the sub-ruler being Jupiter and Neptune. This can give some Pisces flavoring. With the appearance, the person's face may be a little bit heavier on average than the other Scorpio decans. The shoulders may be a little more sloping. The eyes may be larger and fuller. Maybe there's a little bit more of a dreamy countenance or look to the person. Again, the dreaminess that can be a little bit, as far as personality goes, this Pisces decan may be a little bit more dreamy, ambivalent, nebulous, even unclear, idealistic, more compassionate, a little more forgiving too than the typical Scorpio persona, as far as comparatively to the other decans. The Jupiter influence could add more exuberance and enthusiasm, even luck to the person. It could be person may be lucky in shared resources scenarios, whether it's something it's a significant other, or it's a situation that may involve a business connection. The person, the Scorpio, this is a person too, considering Scorpio can be secretive, and then the Pisces has that sub-influence flavoring. This decan can have that need more for isolation, solitude, and seclusion, and this could make the person difficult to know. And the person too, having this decan of Pisces, this is the most adaptable and flexible and pliable of the Scorpio decans, because you have that mutable sign influence with Scorpio in this case. And also too, this could be, person may be a little bit more passive than the other Scorpio decans on average, and might not come across as quite as formidable as the other two. Again, the forgiveness in this decan, the Pisces influence, may make the Scorpio person, a little bit less, vengeful or vindictive, in contrast to the other Scorpio decans. And the thing is, this could be a person at some point in time that may undergo some kind of spiritual transformation. Remember, Scorpio is about transformation. Pisces is connected with spirituality. I had my mother, who passed away a little over a year ago. She had her sun in Scorpio, and this decan was like 18 degrees. And later on, latter part of her life, she did make like a spiritual transformation or metamorphosis. She wound up she became very spiritual. She became born again Christian. And I'm not saying everybody that has this decan means that's going to happen with them, but there can be a little greater propensity toward becoming more spiritual at a point in life with this decan, as opposed to many other astrological placements on average. And the thing about this too is, I would say this could be the most optimistic and expansive of the Scorpio decans, because you have that Jupiter sub-influence. And also too, though, you have to, in a negative manifestation, this person may be a little bit more deceptive, duplicitous than the typical Scorpio persona. And the thing about this, as I talked about, a little more propensity toward isolation, having this decan, and the person may be a little bit more evasive, more might isolate themselves a little bit more so than the other Scorpio decans, and be a little bit less confrontational as well. I would say, and the thing about this is, this could be a person, this negative, again, talking about this in a very, more extreme negative manifestation. Person may guard against becoming overly fanatical, in, Pisces related matters, whether it could be spirituality or poetry or dancing or photography, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, anything, that is associated with Pisces. And and also too needs to be careful, because water signs in general collectively can have more of a proclivity toward drugs and alcoholism. When you have the Scorpio, by itself can have a little bit more propensity toward that, but then you're adding the Pisces sub-influence, and Pisces is the sign that corresponds with drugs and alcohol. The person needs to be very careful against this. And I had a prominent family member had this placement, had the Scorpio second deacon, the sun, and she had succumbed to alcoholism for for period of her life. And I think this may have had something to do with it. She also had a cancer ascendant, which was in the Pisces decan as well, and of course that certainly didn't help matters. So the thing is, and again, as I've stated in previous videos, it's essential to look at, the chart as a whole, and not isolate, any one, proponent in it, and make an astrological analysis on that, because again, the person is the sum of all their components in the chart, not just one. It's important to look at contraindicators. Again, as I was stating before, this decan can be one, that's very secretive and mysterious, and it's about isolation. It can be more about isolation. This is but if you have somebody, let's say if you have the sun and Scorpio in this decan, but let's say, some examples, you have a preponderance of planets above the horizon, and or a more extroverted ascendant. This could be somebody that might be more gregarious and extroverted than the typical person that has the Scorpio second decan. So it's important just to look at everything in the chart. And this could be somebody that brings a lot of that Scorpio, that intensity, that passion, that desire into something Pisces related, whether it may be photography, dancing, oceanography, swimming, chemistry, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, anesthesiology, as some examples. And this could be a good combination, I would say, for somebody that wants to do something, say, in astrology, because the Scorpio, is about, Scorpio is connected with the occult, which includes astrology, and Pisces is associated with the metaphysical, which includes astrology as well. This could be a person that might flourish as like an astrologer, that could put a spiritual spin on things and incorporate spirituality to some degree with their astrological teachings and charts or what have you. So as far as that goes, it could be auspicious for that. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.